for everybody here in the room with me, you're going to want to go to Blogger, and we're going to work from there. And if you're online, we'll start at blogger.com. So going back to screen sharing now. So, as I said, here is, oopsie. Here is the Blogging 101 document, and what I've done is I've shared everything that we're going to do in the room here is here with lots and lots of screenshots to take you through step by step, and I really do mean step by step. I try and make it as easy as possible to allow you to follow along. So with that, I'm going to jump over to Blogger and get us in here. Again, this is a point where, especially for people in the room, I'm not tied to my seat here. I'm going to come up and jump around and help you if you need it. And chances are good, if you have a question, then somebody who's going to be watching online has the same kind of question, okay? So we'll start at blogger.com, and we'll open up blogger.com here. Now, when you went to sign in, is everybody signed in to blogger.com? No, not yet? Okay. So when you go to sign into blogger.com, if you're in the WiredUSB, you're going to use your Google Apps address, so first name dot last name at gapps.wiredusb.ca. This is for people who guys after wiredusb.ca. Yep. So if you log in over, you should be okay.
Yep. And then vending. If we want to look at just Google Plus, you click on this one. You just want Blogger profile, no Google Plus.
Okay, so that's the next thing I'm going to talk about.
So Google Docs from the www.
You can do that, or just go to blogger.com.
Here,
just type in blogger.com.
To here, and then I just downloaded
That's the
it
Google thing.
Okay, so let's sign in with your
to
board account instead.
file. Download as a a publisher file. PowerPoint.
You okay with getting to Blogger?
What do I do?
Okay. You should jump here. Over here. Yeah,
That's what I did.
More.
I saw yours.
Blogger. So one of the things for WiredUSB teachers to know is that Blogger is one of those red tools. It is not included in the ministry agreement for Google Apps for Education. Okay, it's not a part of Google Apps for Education. Yes, you can use your Google Apps for Education account to use it, but if you're thinking about having your students blog, they all need to have signed parent consent to use a tool like Blogger. Amazing tool to use. I recommend student blogging highly. Not going to talk about it today, but if you are thinking in that direction, make sure you're thinking about getting parent consent to use the tool as well. Having problems?
Yeah, it keeps
Let me sign in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll be set there. I don't know why it's not
There,
letting me
you want to sign in.
I can sign in.
You said just leave that desk. Yeah, no.
Gaps?
Yeah, that identifies
And then
your
that's it.
wired
And
as
leave it as oh, like that. And then put my
Trying to figure
Let's try this way. So do your
yeah, that's your Google. That's your Google.
So gaps wire DSD.
gaps.wiredusb.ca.
That
I was trying to figure out.
like Google knows
Whatever
that
it's
you're putting
doing,
a
it's-
region, but you got to put Google in before you wire it.
Or
This one's the blogger.com.
Yep. And you're in. Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Okay, so most people are at the point where when you sign in, it's asking you about what kind of account you want to create. Here's the difference. If you're already signed up for Google Plus, it's going to default to your Google Plus profile. If you haven't started a blog before or haven't signed into Google Plus, you're going to have a choice. And actually, I think if you already are on Google Plus, it's going to give you this choice. What it means is with a blogger profile, you can control how students see you. So I can stay Mr. Monahan instead of Scott Monahan. Okay? If I use my Google Plus account, then they see the link to my Google Plus account. And I'm okay with that because I'm just sharing professional things publicly there. I've got no issues with that. But it's just a matter of, you know, where you're comfortable and where you want to be right now. So in terms of the workshop, in terms of getting started, what I recommend is just creating a limited blogger profile, and then you're going to choose the name that parents and students will see you as. So when you write a post, it's going to say author, Mr. Monahan. Yep.
So we have the option of switching back at a later time.
Yes.
So if we did a limited, can we go to a Google, change it to Google Plus?
Yes, you can switch at any point in the future.
So we're limited, yeah.
How do
So
I
you're going to go, yep.
Awesome.
You know what? You're going to want to switch to
Chrome?
yeah.
But do I have to put a name?
Yeah. So how you want students and parents to see you on Google Plus, or sorry, on Blogger. Yep.
With this, the checkmark about email notification doesn't disappear.
I have signed up for notifications from Blogger, and I've never got one. So.
No, because I know without mine, it doesn't even show that option.
Yes, I'm showing you
Oh,
first.
could be because it's dated. I mean, I did these screenshots last spring, so that could be why. So, has everybody in the room got their profile set up? Because now I can jump into Blogger proper. Okay.
Just so you can see.
So.
That's all.
You won't see the list of blogs like I've got, but what you will see is a new blog button. And what we're going to do now, and over the next hour or so, is create our blogs. When we create them, don't worry. Anything you do can be deleted. You can delete the whole blog if you want. You can delete any posts. No one is going to find and read your blog in the next 3, 4, 5 days, week, unless you actually share it with people intentionally. Okay, so don't feel like it's this big pressure to make things like that are perfect and fancy. Yep.
That's a little.
So if we're,
Came up with that.
okay, so you've got 2 accounts. You probably want to use your board account. Okay, so just click on sign in with your account.
It's recognizing that I have a two.
What I've done was that you guys do sign out the whole thing, and that way, because it keeps you
What I was wondering is, somebody Googles
That's the
your
issue
name,
Yep.
initially.
would they be able to find your blog?
Yep.
So,
And that's the way you want it.
no, but, so if you didn't want them to read it, you're
Then
saying, can anyone find it once it's here?
Yes.
This is public, okay.
yes.
So now title, is that my name, or is that a,
So
that the title
I'm going
of
to
that?
talk about that
Oh,
in a
okay.
second. I
So
just want to
now
make
they
sure
know,
we
okay.
get up here.
So it is public, once
Yep.
once you get in now.
It's public, but until you
Oh.
share it, nobody's going to read it. Like it's like finding a needle in a
No,
haystack.
but you know how people can Google your name,
Yep.
would that show up?
It will eventually, right? But it's going to take even Google a few days to recognize, oh, there's something there, there's some
Okay.
content.
Okay.
Okay, now with the,
I was saying my, a lot of interest.
sorry, stopwiredsb.ca, GAPPS.
Yeah?
All right. So the first thing we're going to do is click on the new blog button. And you're going to give your blog a title. Now the title can change. So if you're teaching grade 5 this year, it could be Mr. Monahan's grade 5 class. If I switch to grade 6 next year, no problem. I can easily change to Mr. Monahan's grade 6 class. I'm just going to put that in here. Mr. Monahan's grade 5 class, and Mr. Yep, no problem.
Why do they have to put the gaps in? It's not working.
Because all of our Google accounts for the board are gapps.wiredsb. Yep. Oh, 2 P's. Yeah.
You could go directly though to this Google Docs, right?
To Blogger?
No, just Google Docs.
Yeah.
Take it to the Blogger?
You can get there, yeah. It's under the app grid, those 9 squares. You click on it, and then
On tools.
more. Yeah, it's under more.
But then how do you go from there to the blog?
So I think the question you're asking, I'm gonna just pull up Google Drive here, and I'll pull up my board account just so it's the same as yours. Make sure I've got the right one here. I probably shouldn't have done it that way. So the question is, from your Google Drive, how can you get to Blogger? And one way is to hit this app grid up here, and then you can go to Blogger. Now, if I was on my board account, it would actually be under the More button that I would see Blogger. So the app grid, and then More, and then Blogger.
Can you pull Blogger up?
Can I?
Nope.
No, you can't. Not on our board one. On your personal one, you can move apps around on the app grid. So that's on my Gmail account.
I just know what he said there.
All right. So I'm going to call this.
Scott, you mentioned, or don't put grade 5, for example, because you might have a different grade.
Yes.
When we create our title, should we just put our name rather than our grade?
The title, it's okay to be specific to the year, the grade, etc. It's the address. So one thing that I like to do, I mean, we have to realize that Blogger is used by millions of people around the world. So I'm definitely not the only Monahan in the world who would like monahan.blogspot.com. So one thing that tends to work is use your school initials and then your name. So if I try this, we're at Stornoway Crescent, PS, Monahan, and it's showing what I've got there. That is available. So Stornoway Crescent, PS, Monahan 2, and I'm just picking 2 different addresses because I'm doing this for 2 locations. I'm going to highly recommend you just stick with a simple template for now. I will take you into how to manipulate the template and change your colors and make it fancy and pretty and all those things a little bit later on. But simple works great whether you're on a computer, whether you're on the newest version of Chrome or Internet Explorer 8. The simple template works really well. It also translates really well and very easily to mobile devices. So you want to keep that. Once you've done those things, click on Create Blog. And wait a few moments. Uh-oh. And let me see what happened there. I got it on my online one, and what I should have done was 2 of them. Now, this happened to me before. So for those of you in the room, it says the blog address is available, but the Create Blog button is grayed out for some reason. I've just previously been able to just start again. Mr. Monahan's. I'm going to call this one grade 6, just because my other one is grade 5. And I'm going to call it 3. It's available, create the blog, and now I've got 2 blogs just created. So for those of you watching online, you just saw me create this grade 5 class, and in person here I created the grade 6 class. So the first thing that we're going to do is go in and make your first post, because it's really easy to do and it gives you a sense of, okay, I know how to blog. after that, we'll start thinking about security and privacy and all those kinds of things. So to get started, what you're going to do is click on the pencil for your blog, and you'll see as you hover over it, it says Create New Post.
I didn't see it.
And
I got there anyways.
Yes, I
got
got
there
there
anyway? Okay.
It's just, it was different.
Create posters.
Yes, there's 6 dozen ways to get there now, so it's always tough to find the exact way. But what you should notice is that this looks pretty much like every word processor you've used for the last 20 years, right? So there's not a big barrier into like learning fancy HTML code or anything like that. So in fact, let's start off by typing a simple message, you know, hi, well, whoopsie. Typing on camera, I'll make lots of mistakes. To my blog, this is my first post. Hi, welcome to my blog. This is my first post. Something to notice about Blogger that is a little bit different than working on a word processor is that you do need to title your blog post. So I'm just going to call this my first post. My first post. So the typing part is easy. We may as well start right off the bat with showing you how to put in a picture because everybody's going to want to put pictures into their blog. So almost the identical icon to Microsoft Word or even Google Docs. It looks kind of like a landscape mountain. Click on Insert Image. And what you will find, again, is pretty much what you would expect to find, that you can choose to upload files from your computer. If you are tied into any other Google tools like Picasa, I've got my phone tied to my Google account. I can add those photos. If I have a URL of a Flickr image or something like that, I can just paste that. I'm simply going to choose something off of my computer. So I'll click on the Choose Files, and I will look in my Downloads pictures, and I will grab this picture of an iPhone and click Open. You'll see it uploaded. It's a little bit slower on my desktop for people here in the room. And let's see what we can find here for a picture. Oh, I'll use my avatar JPEG. So once you've selected a photo, it appears there. You click on it once, it gets highlighted, and you click on Add the selected photo, and then it appears in your blog. When you click on the photo, you will see that you have some options for that photo. So right off the bat, I can change the size of the photo. I can put it to the original size. Resize it to medium. If I want the text to wrap around my photo, I simply choose the left or the right. See if I can resize that one. If I would like to add a caption, perhaps the source of the image, I can go ahead and do that. Add a caption, source, and I could put in the link where I got the image. Okay. And I'm going to left justify. Text is wrapping here. Now, any questions on adding photos so far? No, easy, right? Awesome.
Just go to publish.
Actually, we'll put in a hyperlink first as well. And so hyperlinks I want to be a little bit more specific on. And the reason I'm focusing on hyperlinks is because that's one of the main classroom management tools that you're going to have now. Is you're going to teach students, okay, go to the blog and then follow the hyperlink from the blog. So hyperlink, all those web links, so when you click on something and it takes you to a web address, a URL, yeah, those are all hyperlinks.
Will they be glued in here?
They will be, yeah. Now it depends on if you've chosen a theme where they're something different, then they will, yeah, all of those changes will happen right in the blog. Yep.
Now, if you put save, it doesn't publish it until you press publish?
Correct. Correct.
And so
That
that
means it puts it on your blog.
Yes, publish puts it right on your blog, save just saves it in your drafts.
So once it's published, can it be revised? Or
Yep.
is that,
Yeah, anything that you post online you can delete, you can go back and revise. So, you know, I get the students telling me, oh, you made a spelling mistake or you got the date wrong. No problem, easy fix. Get it before it goes home to mom and dad. When I'm adding links, I want to be specific in the links. So we're going to just pull up an article from Teaching Kids News because I think that's a resource that a lot of elementary teachers use. So I'll start by going to teachingkidsnews.com and do that here as well. So the temptation when you go to share links and hyperlinks on your blog is to just go ahead and grab that first URL that comes up and say, okay, you know what, I want you to read the article about Rosa Parks, and you give them the link to teachingkidsnews.com. Well, the challenge is that this article here about Rosa Parks was posted on December 1st, and in a day or two, it's no longer going to be on the front page of Teaching Kids News. So what we'll do is we'll click on the article about Rosa Parks, and in a moment, we should get what's called the permalink. And so that's the big long link that we will see up at the top of the page here that has the link to that specific article. So I've got it here. So for those of you in the room with me, you can see that I've got the full link up here. And what I want to do is copy that full link address, the full thing. So I can use Command A or Control A to select the whole thing, or if I triple click, it'll grab the whole thing. Control C or Command C copies it.
Can you highlight and then just right control, like
Yep.
click and copy?
Yep, you can do that as well. So 1, 2, 3 clicks. You can copy it this way, or Control C, Command C. So I right click and copy. Then you can go back to Blogger, and you can type some instructions to your students. So please read this article on Rosa Parks. Right? Now the old-fashioned way to do it would be to post that big, long, ugly link there. But you're cooler than that. You are smarter than that, and what you're going to do is you're actually going to activate that hyperlink. So if you're watching online, I'm going to highlight this article, and then I'm going to click the link button. I have to do a little catch up in the room here, so please read this article on Rosa Parks. So we don't want to do this because that's ugly, okay? And it says, I'm not as savvy, and your kids will know it. So we want them to think that you're geniuses. So you're going to highlight this article, and then you're going to click the link button. And in that link, you're going to paste that URL that you copied. Sorry? So it says link. Now, one tip that I have that I found really useful over the years is have those links open up in a new window or a new tab. Because what happens is students get click happy. And so you might give them the link to Rosa Parks, but then they see this Toronto Star link and they say, well, that's an interesting cartoon, and they go click on that. And then they click on something else, and sooner or later, who knows where they are, right, and how they got there. At that point, all you have to do is close the link, and they come back to your blog. So that's definitely a little tip that I have. It just makes it that much faster if you need to get them back on track. Yeah, that's that open this link in a new window button. So click OK.
Quick question, Scott.
Yep.
Does this blogger behave well on iPads?
Yes, and I would recommend getting the specific Blogger app.
Okay.
Yeah, but for reading it, it should be great because it's just a web page. There is a mobile interface that you will pull up on iPhones, Android phones, and smaller screens, but for the iPad, for any Android tablet, it should appear with a full desktop layout.
Okay, because I found with Google Plus,
yeah,
it doesn't behave as well as if you did it on the desktop version.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true for a lot of things. Generally, the mobile versions aren't as good as the desktop version. Probably true in some senses for Blogger, but for the most part, I think you should be okay here. So right now, we're going to publish this first blog post by hitting the big orange publish button. And it'll take a second. Now, you'll see that I'm getting this, hey, do you want to share this on Google Plus button? That's because I'm signed into Blogger with my Google Plus account. I don't want to share this one publicly, but I could. I'm just going to click cancel there. And my first post is online. And now I can click and view my blog in all its beauty and glory and see my first post. So everybody make sure you've done that.
Did you hit publish?
I hit publish, yeah. Switch back to the Hangout here. Wendy, how are things? Got Wendy there, but not chatting. That's okay. So for everybody here, all okay so far? Now, this is the URL that you're going to want to write down, save, email it to yourself. However you keep track of your favorites, your bookmarks, etc., because that's the URL that you're going to end up sharing with parents and students. Okay, so having your school initials and then your last name makes it fairly easy. We started out by choosing a blogspot.com domain, but it localizes depending on what country you're in. So it'll automatically redirect that as a blogspot.ca.
If we want to change the URL,
yes,
the name, can we?
You can. We'll get into that later.
Okay, because I want.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one of the things that will happen sometimes, you'll pop onto a new computer and you'll go to this address and you will be signed out of your blog, and so you won't see new post, design, or sign out. So that actually tells me that I'm signed into Blogger. I can go ahead and edit this. I don't want to sign out right now just because it will sign me out of all of my accounts, and getting back in here might take a little bit of time. But do keep an eye out. If you don't see new post or design, you will see a button that allows you to sign back in, or you can always just go to blogger.com and sign in, and then you'll be able to edit your blog. Okay? Parents and students don't need to be signed into Blogger to view your blog. They can't edit your blog or anything like that. So next things that we're going to do, we'll focus on security for a little bit, and then we'll start showing you some of the different gadgets that you can use on the right side of your blog here. So to get to what I'll call the back end of my blog, I can click on the design button up here, and it will take me back into the templates page. Now I'm going to ignore that for now, but when it's time to make your blog pretty and spruce it up, this is where you're going to come. Okay? Where I am going to go is down to the settings. So along the left side here, we see settings at the bottom. And Ari, you were asking the question about where can I edit the URL? This is it.
Sweet, thank you.
Okay. This is a space where you can also invite other authors to your blog. So if you're a Rotary teacher or if you're a homeroom teacher in a grade 7-8 class and you'd like to add the French teacher in, the geography teacher, et cetera, music teacher, so that they don't have to maintain their blog, they can just post on your blog, you can definitely add other authors. And that's where you do that. What we want to focus on right now is the posts and comments. So from settings, we're going below basic to posts and comments. And I'll tell you why we're looking at this. When I work with teachers, a lot of times they want to be able to communicate this information, but they don't want unsolicited feedback from students or their families or the public in general appearing on their blog. So we're going to lock this down for you as much as possible right now. If you would like to change it at another point in time, this is where you're going to come, into the settings and then posts and comments area. So I'm going to ignore the posts at the top and focus specifically on the comment section. So I'm going to take you through and we'll just make the changes. Our goal is to make it so that nobody can post a comment. If you want to relax these things later on, you can do so. So comment location, instead of embedded, we're just going to choose hide. In terms of who can comment, we're going to say only members of this blog. Now if you remember from the page we were just on, you're the only member of your blog. Comment moderation will turn to always. So that means that later on, if you decide to say that people who are members of the blog or other people with Google accounts could comment, you would want anything that they comment to come to you first for approval before it appears on your blog. You can put in an email address there if you'd like. So when somebody makes a comment, you'll get an email notification. You don't have to do that. And the other ones you don't need to worry too much about. So what I'm going to do now is click on the Save Settings button. And the changes are saved. So right now, nobody can post any comments on your blog. If you want to come back and change this in the future, this is a screen that you'll come to. The other one that I want to pay attention to down here is under language and formatting. No problem. And for some marvelous reason, I don't know why, Blogger assumes that we are out in BC on Pacific time, and as much as I would love to be out in Vancouver, Victoria right now, I am going to switch my time zone to Eastern time, and I believe Toronto is listed in here. Eastern time, Toronto. There we go. So that will ensure that your blog postings are posted in Eastern time. You can mess around with the format of the dates and times as they appear on your blog if you'd like. I tend to just leave the default settings. So I'll click on Save Settings again.
Quick question.
Yep.
So I did exactly, I changed my address, yet my original blog was lost. Didn't copy over to the new address. So I changed my blogspot name.
Yep.
Yet no post. The one I posted, the previous one.
Just jump in and design and see what happens.
It should come up as Eastern time.
And then on the left side, say post.
Weird.
So it's still in draft, so.
Yeah, I published it before though.
So go to edit and publish it.
Well, here's Eastern time, please.
There we go.
So is that common? Because it was published before.
I don't know, because I haven't switched to blog URL like that.
Yeah.
So now, if you did need to change a URL, you can do bulk selection of your posts as well. So you can grab all your posts and say publish if you need to. I'm pretty sure on that. Not 100%. Okay. So we're going to get out of settings and we're going to get into layout because there are some important things here for you to know about and definitely to improve communication with parents. So what you will see is you've got two spaces to add gadgets. I tend to like to use this top one across the header, like the title, for page navigation. So I'm going to ignore that for now until we start adding another page to our blog. But what we want to do is focus on a few gadgets that we're going to use with parents and students. So if we click on Add a Gadget, we get a list of 30 or so different gadgets that we might be able to use. So the first one that I'm going to focus on is Google Translate. And the reason being, we know we have ELL learners and families for whom English isn't their first language. I'm not going to claim that Google Translate is perfect, but if the gist of what you're saying is getting across to parents, you're opening that door for a conversation. So to add it, all you do is click on the plus button, and I just leave everything the way it is and click Save, and then it has been added. I can click the Save Arrangement button now, and if I want to view my blog, I can go ahead and click View Blog, and I should have this Google Translate button, and I believe Google has something like 65 or 75 different languages that they can work in now. So that should be a help at least. So I'm going to close that tab because I noticed it did open in a new tab and get back to my layout page. All okay so far with that translate button? Good. The next gadget I want to add is probably the most important one and the one that had the biggest impact for me and parents in my class. And that is this follow by email button. So if we want to talk about, reducing the number of barriers to parent participation and engagement in your classroom, we want to think about the technology or the account that almost all parents have. And almost everybody has an email account. So this is a really great tool. What it does, sorry, that's okay. I'm just going to re-show this. So from the layout page, we're going to click on Add a Gadget again, and then we're just going to scroll down to Follow by Email. And we'll click on the plus button. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to put a little box on your page that says Subscribe by Email. And that's amazing if you just leave it like this. But the best thing about this is you can schedule these email deliveries so they come out at dinner time. And I can't tell you how much parents love that when their phone buzzes just before dinner, and then they found out what's happening in your class and they can have a conversation with their kids about what's happening at school. So what we're going to do is go through the process to flip the time that your blog post comes out. So where it says View Stats and Learn More, I want you to click on that. And it should take you to another tool called Feedburner. Now, as you can see, I've got all kinds of feeds here because I've been using this for a long time. And do that. Oh, there we go. So here are the two that I just created. Sorry, the Monahan grade 5 class and the Monahan grade 6 class. Okay, 5 on this computer and 6 on this computer. Yep.
If we were clicked publish by accident, is there a way of going back and changing that?
Yep. Don't worry about it right now because nobody's going to look at it yet, but I will take you through that. Okay. It's on that post page. Yep.
I had saved and I can't get back to the setup.
Okay. So what you
I
can
follow the
do,
email.
if you click on those tools there, click on the submit button. Okay.
And then you go to use that.
Yep. And learn more.
Okay.
Yeah. And all of these things that we're doing right now are on the instructions. So, nice, fun warning. Hey, your feed's so new. We're playing with the bubble wrap. We're going to click on the Publicize tab. And we're going to go to email subscriptions. So we're going to publicize and then email subscriptions.
Where is Publicize? Sorry.
So right at the top here.
Where was that feed?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And then you're going to publicize.
I'm just not sure. I want to use enough gaps.
Everything's good. Okay.
So,
thank you for pointing that out. I missed a step where I forgot to tell people that I had to click on my name or the name of my class here to get to this Feedburner page specifically for this blog. So click on Publicize and then email subscriptions, and we're going to say Activate for starters. So Activate was...
yeah, mine's already saying active.
Yours says active? Great. Okay. If it's already active, good. Then what you're going to do is look down the left side here under email subscriptions. You'll see delivery options. If you click on that, this is where you change the time at which your message is delivered. So I'm going to switch to Eastern Time and switch to Eastern Time. Atlantic Eastern. Now, I have found that the 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock window is great. The problem with aiming for the 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock window is that right at 3 o'clock, Google's little web crawlers go out and take a snapshot picture of your blog and they look for any new posts. If your school day ends at 3 o'clock and you go, oh, I need like just 5 minutes to post, right? What happened today, what the homework is, it's already gone. So that window for me was just too close. So I found that the 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock window works well. If you wanted to have it come out at 4 o'clock, well, what you can do is go, okay, if it's 5 o'clock in Ontario, it is probably 4 o'clock in Saskatchewan or in Winnipeg, Manitoba, so you can play with your time zones that way. But 5 to 7 seems to work well for me. And what I found was that the delivery of this message was usually by 5:30. So I know it says it's a 5 to 7 o'clock window, but in my experience and with the teachers that I've worked with, that 5 o'clock to 7:30 window, the emails come around 5:30 every day. And just so you know what's going to be in the email, it will be the content of any new posts for the day. So if you don't post anything for the day, there's no email. If you make one post, there's one email containing that one post. If you make 5 posts that day, there is one email containing all 5 posts. Okay. At the bottom of every email, there's a message about how to unsubscribe. Okay. I think one of the things that I haven't added to this presentation before, and I probably should cover, is that CASA legislation. Because we want to ensure that we are compliant. Is this going to work? Delivery options. I'll have to get back to you on that one. We do want a way to get a CASL statement in there, potentially. I don't know what that's, or the anti-spam legislation, you know, saying, hey, you've subscribed to this, blah, blah, blah. We'll figure that out. Generally, parents are opting into this, right? You're not, they actually have to take action to sign up for it, but I will have to work on that one and get back to you. Anyway, we've made all our changes here. We're going to click Save. And
subscription management.
Sorry?
Save to subscription management.
Yeah, just save at the bottom there. Now, at the end of the school year, you can boot all of your subscribers off if you'd like to, or they can remove themselves. This is nice because you can see who has subscribed, which parents have subscribed in your class. And one of my, you know, I think the highest suggestion I have is at Meet the Teacher Night, you have a couple of laptops open and ready to go, and every parent you talk to, you say, hey, have you signed up for the class blog yet? No? Have a seat, we'll take you through it. And it's a quick process, and they do have to click accept on a confirmation email, but that's about all there is to the process. So I'm going to save that there and make sure I've got it saved on my other one here. I did add the email gadget on this one, didn't I? There we go. Now, where you've got these gadgets on your blog, you can simply click on them and change the order if you'd like. Right? If you'd like to remove one, so I don't want the About Me to appear, all I need to do is click on Edit and say Remove. And then confirm that.
Actually,
yep.
So remove, can you just unclick the Show About Me check mark?
I don't see that on mine.
Okay, so mine, it says configure, it says About Me, display options, Show About Me, check mark, show location, check mark, and you can check them.
Oh, that's within.
Just hides it, I assume. That I'm to remove.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, you know what?
There's a site called
Oh, we were there. So he's
So
saying
we should do some work
and
first,
edit
so we have different questions for what we want to do.
delete or
Yeah, like you, if there's like a little box on who you don't want to, and then the box, and then like starting
Yeah, just.
Actually try to
Yeah.
get what he said. Yeah, that's all.
All right. Okay, I'm just going to save my arrangement here. How are we doing so far? Any issues? Questions? All right. Now, the next thing I'll talk about is pages, because pages can be really useful. And you can have static pages for your blog just like a website. So to create a page, all you do is go over to the pages link on the left side, go ahead and click on it, and it will ask you to create a new page. And as you can see, this looks just like our blog post page. So I'm actually going to make this page for a class calendar, and at the same time we do the page, show you how to embed a Google Class calendar. So I'm going to call the page calendar. And I'm just going to come down here, calendar, and calendar. Now, how many of you in the room have a Google Calendar for your class already? Just one of you? Okay. Two of you?
I do more.
Okay. Well, we'll play with it, and yeah, we'll do a quick calendar setup. That'll be worth it, and we'll embed that. So, what I'm going to do right now, I have a Google Drive page open, a Google Docs page open, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to Calendar, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch. No, I'm not going to switch accounts. I'm going to untick a few of these calendars. And I'm going to take you through the process of setting up a class calendar first. Okay, so this won't take very long. Everybody into their Google Calendar okay?
No,
Huh?
I
No?
Where do you get it?
So come here to the off-grid and then choose calendar.
So in Canada, anniversary of the Statute of Westminster.
So the default calendar that appears is your personal calendar. You don't necessarily want to share that with students or the community. So what you can do is click on My Calendars and create a new calendar. And you can give the calendar a name. So Mr. Monahan's, let's make this shorter. Grade 5 class.
Sorry, where is that? Under my calendar zone, it gives me my name and tasks.
So there's a drop-down arrow beside My Calendars. If you hover over it,
And all it gives you is my name and tasks.
should have. Okay, give me a second to finish this.
No, that arrow there.
Oh,
There you go.
create new calendar.
Okay. So
No, gaps.
just check your time zone, make sure it's appropriate. So I'm on Eastern time here. This calendar is one that you want to be public, right? Because you're going to share this with your students and with the community so that when there are assessments happening, when there are school activities, field trips, etc., this calendar is visible to everybody. So once you've given it a title and made the calendar public, you can click on the Create Calendar button. Everybody here okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mine just says share with your region board. Doesn't let me do it.
Let me take a look.
You can.
So if you get this warning, it's visible, that's okay.
Like it won't let me do public, it only lets me do that one.
Yeah, you have to do the forward one first, but
So we don't have to worry though that we've got the drop-down boxes there. We have to do anything with those?
Google Apps.
No.
Nope.
So you're
No.
not in your-
no. Basically, you want people to be able to see all the details for this calendar.
whatever it is, and-
Everybody here have their calendar created?
Yes.
Okay. So and you're back on your main calendar page? Okay. So what we're going to do is now we're going to get, this is the only coding part we'll do today. Okay. This is a really tough stuff. You know, you got to know be an HTML wizard. What we'll do is we'll click on the drop down arrow beside the class calendar that we just created. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll go up to calendar settings. We'll choose calendar settings. And you can see they've made it really easy for you because they've already given you an idea of what you want to do. So it's this embed section here. I like to customize the color, size, and other options. The reason I would do this in particular is because if I have multiple calendars that I want to show,
I just called it breaks of unique.
and then math class down there beside it, and now go to calendar settings.
Yeah.
Oh.
Settings, is this?
If you go to it's okay, then just click on it.
Enter location. And description.
Come down here and customize.
How do you embed it? or just-
So just click on this customize first.
Oh, okay.
Yours looks like.
So you're making an event on your
I was
calendar.
gonna say, I went to different ones.
That's okay, no problem. Just,
From Building Fairways.
just expand that my calendars.
Not too far.
And leave down here, create a new calendar. So this is exciting. Okay. Where this gets really useful is if your school is using a Google Calendar, right? So if they've got school-wide events already created, you don't want to have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to enter those things twice. So you choose, okay, there's the school calendar, and I want my class calendar, and I have both of those things show up together. So I can publish as many things as I would like, all on that one calendar. Okay, by selecting these different little tick boxes along the side here. Okay. Now, one of the things that I've found over the years is that the ideal width is probably somewhere around, I think, 580 pixels. 800 is too wide for most of these blog templates.
Where do you see 800?
So on the left side here, it's talking about the width.
Oh, I see it now.
Okay.
To make it, sorry, 500?
I'd say make it, yeah, 500, 580. Okay, so it will make it a little bit narrower. You can also choose which layout you'd like. So if you want to have just the week by week agenda, you can do that. For the page, most parents, most teachers like the month view. If you want to use this as a sidebar on your blog, you can do something like make it 200 by about 400 and then switch to the agenda view, and it turns into something really nice on the side of your blog. So you can just have that as another gadget that sits on the side.
Oh, that looks like what it is on like those websites.
Exactly, nice and fancy. But I'm going to go back to the 580 by 600 here, and the month view.
Settings are not coming up on mine at all.
Okay, I will take a look in a moment.
How come your calendars display with more?
And the top down.
I have more because I have lots and lots of
You
calendars
added
that I've
that,
made.
or what do we
Click on customize the color.
I only have holidays.
Change that to 580.
So you have to set it on that's
I don't have
this
the
part
board
here,
now.
so
Okay.
So it's not the same way?
No, you don't have a board
time
calendar.
zone is
So there's math and the holidays in Canada. Perfect. That's all you need so far. I'm trying to get that back. Change the width to about 580.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to do that, but it's going to be. I won't do that same process right now.
580. 580 no, and 5600.
So now here's our super duper geeky technical part. We're just going to click this update HTML button at the top, and we're going to select all of that text, and I use Control A to do that, and then we're going to copy it. So you can right click and choose copy, or you can do Control C, or however you like to copy things. Then we're going to come back to Blogger, And we're going to do our magic part now, where we're going to impress everyone with our web genius. So right now we're in the compose view. So that's exactly what you see is what you get. We want to switch over to the HTML view. So you click on HTML, and then we just come down to the bottom and we paste. And we paste. Now if I switch back to the compose view,
Oh, sweet.
I see my Google Calendar embedded, ready to go in my blog. I hit publish, and of course you could add anything to a page. Sometimes I've seen teachers, they like to use pages for units where you've got a static set of resources that you want students to be able to come back to. I always kept a page for just homework helpers, so different sites and resources, rather than having them all down the side of my blog. I break it apart into math and language and reading, and I'd have other pages for different things, that were important to me in my class. But these are pages, things that you don't want to change on a regular basis. Your blog posts are for variable things that you want to keep up to date and change regularly. Your pages are fairly static. Okay, so I'm going to click publish, and I'm going to view my blog and see my page, right? Oh, wrong. That was a little bit planned. Was that subtle or what, eh? So your pages won't show up until you add a Pages gadget. So remember I talked about that earlier across the top. So I'm going to go back to the back end of my blog, and on the left side here I'll go back to layout, and I'm going to click on add a gadget. Sorry, I should have pointed out this time I am adding a gadget up here. Just because my personal preference, I like the page layout at the top of my blog. So add a gadget, and I want to look for the pages one, which is not too far down. I'll click on the plus button to add it.
Oh,
All right, that sounds good. Now, what you'll notice is you actually have to select the pages that you want to have. I can also add external links so they show up as real fancy pages. So if I wanted to add a link to the school that we're at, I could search for Stornoway Crescent. And I can find that. And I can take this URL for Stornoway Crescent or whatever school I'm at and copy that. And I can add that as a, you know what, I'm just going to put in our school. That and our school. And so once you've got that link back to your school or any other page on the internet, you click Save Link and Save Link, and it gives you a little preview of what you're going to see here. I want all I have to do now is click Save, and I've got my Pages widget in here. I can save the arrangement, and again, if I want to view the blog and see what it looks like, now I've got my pages available to me. So our school is an external link. It'll take me off of the blog. But that's okay. I can always go back to the blog. Yep.
So the future of the layout is add the gadget.
Okay, so let's update this first.
There it is.
Okay, well.
Just try to reload.
Nope, it doesn't like me.
Try deleting everything after .ps. So pages and default.
You're just going to select it. You want to make sure you show the calendar. And save. Okay, we are at 22:06, and I know how many you're planning on leaving, and that's okay. I'll go through a few more gadgets that I think are really useful, and I will show you how to spend hours and hours this coming weekend beautifying your blog and making it look just the way you want. So I'm going to close this page and go back to the back end of my blog. One of the things you'll notice when you do a new post is you've got the ability to add labels. Labels can be handy because they give you a way to categorize your blog post. So if you are posting about math, you add a math label. If you're posting about language, you can add a language label, etc. And then what we can do is we can add a Labels Gadget to our blog and quickly jump to any posts tagged with labels. So in most cases for elementary school teachers, I've found that it works best having the labels by subject. The other label that you might want is parents, right? So anything specifically for parents, like announcements, field trips, things like that, you would flag it that way. Click on Done. I'm just going to write in just testing here.
Labels are under settings.
Labels, I'm in a new post now. I went to a new post and I'm just adding a couple of labels just to demonstrate how it works. This is also the spot where I could schedule my post for the supply teacher. If I wanted to come in at a specific date and time, I could go ahead and do that. But I'm not going to. I'll just click Done. I'm going to publish these things here, and it will take me back into my blog. Now, you were asking earlier if you wanted to get back in and edit a post or delete a post. Whenever you click on Posts here, it's going to take you to the list of all the posts that you've made over time. As you hover over them, below them you'll see Edit, View, Share, or Delete, and that's where you'd be able to make all of those changes. If you want to just revert something to a draft, so you don't want it to appear but you don't want to delete it, you can go into the Edit button and just click on Revert that to a draft. Okay, so if you worked on something, you published it, and then you went, whoops, I want to go back and fix it up, revert it to draft and publish it again later.
Question though, this new post labels, field trips, whatever you have there, can we, I guess, put it at the top of the page?
Yep.
So do we just go through gadgets and do?
Going to do that right now.
All right. Sorry, one step ahead.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to layout, and just as Ari was suggesting, I'm going to go add a gadget. Now, it only allows you to put one gadget at the top. So I prefer pages, but you could certainly switch that and have your pages on the side and your labels at the top. You can even move things. Should be able to. Yeah, I just moved my pages down there, move them back up there. So if I want to put a Labels Gadget up here, I could do it that way as well. So I'm going to add a Labels Gadget, and if I just scroll down here, there it is, labels, about 3/4 of the way down. Click on plus to add it. And again, I don't have to do much to this one. I just click on Save and save the arrangement. The other thing that I find really handy to have on the gadgets on the left side of your page are links to sites that you use on a really frequent basis. So again, it's back to add a gadget, and you will see here somewhere we've got link list. So link list, I can click on the plus to add it, and we can call it class links and class links. And these would be to sites and pages that I want students and parents to have immediate access to, so they're not wandering around always looking for them. In this case, to save on time, I'm just going to put in Google as a link. So the new site name, Google search, the URL, google.ca. Make sure to click add a link. Google. I can go ahead and add more links right now. So I could put in, WireDSB and wiredsb.ca. Click on add that link. I can go ahead and save it. I'm going to save the arrangement, and then I'm going to view my blog again. And what you see is, obviously, I'm probably going to want to rearrange some of this stuff on the right side of my blog, but I'm not too worried about it right now. Now, one thing you should notice, because you're signed into your blogs, you'll see these tools near each section, and you'll also see edit buttons in your posts. If I want to come back and add more links to my list of class links, all I have to do is click on those tools, and it's going to bring up that gadget for me, and I can start adding more links right away. So if I find other sites that I'm going to on a regular basis, I can go ahead and do that. I'll cancel that for now. And I'm going to go to the back end of my blog again. So this will, yep.
To view it, did you just go to preview? Or is there a button?
I went
I was
to.
using preview, but it looks different, and I couldn't hit those.
Do you have a button that says view blog up at the top?
Yeah, I was scrolling down.
Okay.
How do we get back to the add gadget?
So.
I got back to my
Design. Design will always take you to the back end, not the right spot, although this is where I'm going to go next, and then it's layout.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. No, it's okay. All right. All right.
Especially a part two.
Okay.
Because we're talking about, we'd like it.
Sure.
Thank you, all of you, for coming.
Thank you
for having us. No problem.
So I think the last thing that I'm going to.
Quick question though.
Yep.
With the links, you did the WiredESB, Google.
Yep.
Is there a chance of a way of having them open up in a new window? This currently opens up in the same window, which then your blog disappears.
You can do that if you use there's an HTML gadget, and then if you build the link yourself with the proper HTML, you could do it that way.
So you'd have to do that for each and every single one then?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go to the template page, and this is where we're going to have some fun mucking around with our blog. So I'm still going to recommend staying within the simple views for your blog, but start out by choosing one that you kind of like the look of, and just click on Apply to Blog, and above you can see the preview, how it looks, how it will look. And now you've got the option to customize that as well. So this can eat up a lot of time, but we'll get started. We'll dig in here. And what you will see, the first thing is the built-in templates. Okay, so your simple templates are here, the layout, and then a bunch of color samples. When you click on backgrounds, that allows you to choose suggested color themes. Hopefully you can find something that matches up closely to your school colors or your favorite colors. And the background image can also be changed. So you can jump in there and take a look at a whole bunch of different images selected by Google and choose anything you'd like. And I believe it will actually change up the color scheme to match whatever you've chosen. So all these pre-built ones, it's going to restyle everything for you. But you can also upload your own image. So if you've got a picture of your school or your classroom, you can upload that for the background. Now keep in mind that in most cases, the background image is just going to appear as a little splash of color to the right and left of the main part of your blog. So you won't be able to see a nice image there. So I'll just click one, choose one, and click done. The widths of your blog you can change, but I don't recommend it because what you'll find is that they've kind of chosen widths that work on a variety of computers, and you've got to think that you're going to have people working on small netbooks and large desktops with, a 23-inch screen or a 27-inch screen. Stick with what's there unless you want to muck around. Layout is kind of fun because if you don't like that initial design, you can go ahead and quickly choose something else here, and it will make the changes for you, and that would give you different places to put the gadgets on your blog. I'm going to keep mine simple. I'm just going to leave the basic layout. If you are really into design, you can go through and select the fonts and change the settings for your headers and all the different elements of your blog. I stay far, far away from this because that is not my strength. I'm very happy to have Google or anyone else choose a color scheme for me, and I will stick with it. All right. So once that's done, I just say, okay, I'm done with everything. I'll click Apply to Blog, and I'm going to go back to Blogger. And if I want to look at my blog, I can go ahead and click on View My Blog, and it already looks better than it did 15 minutes ago. So you're well on your way to being bloggers, and as I said, at the beginning, what I'd recommend for the next couple of weeks is just blog a little something every day. Learn how to use the tool, get used to it, and have some content there that you could use as an example to share with your principal. Try and get into the habit of blogging every day. One of the things that you want to do is build that routine with the students and parents so that they know when they go to your blog, they find something new every day. One of the worst things that can happen for any website is for the content to be static. If it doesn't change, if it doesn't update, people stop going back to it. But another tip would be search out teacher blogs, search out blogs for specific grades that you teach. See what other people are doing. Even search for YRDSB, grade 1 blog, because those kinds of things will come up, and you'll find out what different teachers around the board are doing. Don't try and measure yourself against the master bloggers, because that's really intimidating. Trust me a little bit and realize that parents are going to be thrilled if you can share, what happened today, what's the homework, what I need to do to help my child, over the next day, 3 days, week, and any big events that are coming up at the school. You will make so many families so happy. For your students, it's going to be an amazing classroom management routine that's going to save you a lot of time for anything that you have to do online in any kind of an online space. As I said, all of the instructions for everything that we did are here. They are online. If you have questions, by all means, feel free to get in touch with me. and I'm happy to try and answer them. We can do a Google Hangout like we did today, probably not as long, and even troubleshoot some of them remotely. Yep.
Just a quick question. The labels that you put at the top of the page.
Yep.
How do we personalize each one?
However you label the post, that's all the personalization you can do.
Okay, so let's say if you label it geography.
Yep.
Your title, you just label geography, all of your posts, and it'll go under that label.
Yes.
Okay, so make sure your title is specific to what your label is.
Yeah, and don't try and get too many, because you don't want a big list. Just keep it to math. Just keep it to language. Keep it simple. Try and have, I'd say, 8 or less labels, just for aesthetic reasons. Keeping it looking nice on your blog. You can definitely have uncategorized as well. So, any more questions from people in the room? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. And thank you to all of you who stuck around. We still have 2 viewers out there. I don't know who you are, but I would love to hear from you and hear what you thought of this particular experience. It was tricky, and I apologize because I had to do things on 2 different computers, but I'm going to post this online, and I'm going to break it apart into the different chunks of what we did today. And maybe if I get really smart, I'll put the links into the Blogging 101 Google document, but we'll see how that goes. That's something that'll probably happen over the holidays. So that's it. And again, that applies to you out on the internet as well. If you need some help, feel free to email me or get in touch with me on Google+. Thanks for watching.